Welcome to Refuel with Reverend Johnson and Reverend Rob. What's up, guys? Hey, everybody. It's so good that you all are joining us on Friday at 7 p.m. Whoa!
We're back.
We're back. It's so good to be back with you all. Good evening, good evening, good evening.
Hello. It's Friday. It's good to see you, man.
It's good to see you too. Rob Johnson?
What's up, Robinson? How are you?
Like, come on, get online and share this with people. We got an exciting evening for ready for tonight.
Let's talk about that. Hello. How are you?
I'm so good.
Oh, it's Pastor on the screen.
Look.
I want the world to know, got to let it show.
I want the world to know, got to let me show. That's not the words.
That's all right. Hello, Robinson.
Oh, wait a minute. Did you say that was okay for me to change the words?
That's why we're going to change the words.
Acting special today. What's going on, Johnson?
Hello, how are you?
Hello. I am okay. I'm glad it is Friday.
Yes. This has been a busy week, huh?
Oh, you have no idea, Slim. No idea. I don't want to do another meeting. I don't want to talk about another schedule. I don't want to talk about another task, another resource. I am tapped completely out. Completely out.
Oh, yeah?
But hashtag the Reverends are in. How about that?
The Revs are in. Listen, we got some stuff to talk about
Hello,
tonight.
listen. You.
Listen.
Yes, I got it here on my notepad. Don't ask Ashton to do nothing.
you gotta say nothing.
Nothing. Is that the Baltimore thing? Nothing.
Nothing. Like, listen.
Check out the Refuel product here, y'all. Just
So yes, we tried to do the wraparound because of the how it was made, but as you see, if we go like
I know, but we're gonna fix that though.
We are gonna fix that. Yes.
For us so that way. But we're gonna start putting. Carla and I are gonna get some T-shirts. And some. Did you like the way I phrased that? Did you like the way I phrased that?
Listen, we may be turning a corner today, Robinson.
Hey, I take all the feedback that I receive and I implement it every once in a while.
Listen.
Wow.
But wait, can we talk about how you bullied my wife yesterday?
Well, first of all, I didn't bully your wife.
You bullied my wife and threatened to disconnect my babies from watching Sesame Street.
Wait. I was not prepared for that. You are rude, disrespectful, dishonest, not loyal, disloyal.
All that goodwill has gone out the window, right?
So you better tell the story. I called Joy specifically for something that was legit.
Okay. Yes.
In the conversation, Joy says to me at the end of the legit conversation, the serious conversation, Joy says, by the way, my kids have been watching Sesame Street, which, Sesame Street is kind of like the thing to do back in the day. And this tells you how old Joy is too. And so HBO Max is remastering all of the Sesame Street series for the children, which I think is phenomenal. I think that's great. So Carla, who, knows all of my information, apparently connected to my HBO Max account, which I had no idea. Now, to Carla.
So here's the thing. Here's how I stay under the radar with Robinson, specifically with his video streaming, is I just use his account. I don't create a profile for myself. I just use his profile. And I typically watch. What just happened? What just happened? Oh, okay. I typically watch the stuff that he watches. So he doesn't notice, because I don't watch my stuff on his feeds, because then he would know
You
that I've
talking?
hacked his account. Okay, so apparently this Google internet that he has down in Alabama, I'm sure he'll be right back. But while he's not here, I'll finish telling you my secrets. So I watch the stuff that he typically watches. Sometimes it may restart his program, but he doesn't. But he doesn't pay attention that he has to rewatch the show. So that's how I stay under the radar. Now, so go back to your story.
So, you know what? It's interesting that you said that because I kept wondering, why is it that these shows act like I've watched them when I've never watched them yet? See, you just gave yourself away. But so I logged on. So apparently she sent me a message that said, hey, I want you to know that I created the twins an account on your HBO Max account, which, it's really not a big deal. And I didn't read the message, but when Joy was talking to me about it, I was like, oh, I'm so glad, blah, blah, blah. Carla did. How did you get it? Oh, Carla. Okay, cool. So I had asked Carla for her chili recipe, and Carla said, yeah, I ain't giving it to you. So I said, if you don't give me the chili recipe, I'm going to disconnect Sesame Street from your children. I know, it was rude.
Disconnect Sesame Street from the babies.
Yes, I did. I sure was, even though I wouldn't have done that. But Joy went into mother flight. He was like, I'm going to get you that recipe.
Let me go get you that recipe.
Carla was not giving us the recipe. So Joy went through the trash and got all the ingredients bags and gave it to me. Now, I did not use the recipe. However, my chili that I made yesterday, let me just clean this up, Ashton, because, Ashton has a tendency to want to call me out all the time online. He puts me in my place. Not too many people that could do that. Let me just say that. As a matter of fact, he's trying. He hasn't reached it, but he's trying. So it was influenced by the conversation and the effort of Joy Johnson. Let me just say that.
He goes. He never just gives me credit, right? So when he showed
you wasn't giving me you didn't give me the recipe.
He got the gist of it. Thank you, Nick. Not the bait.
Nick,
right?
listen. As long as those kids are involved in my life, I will be able to hold them hostage. And Joy was like, "You can't take Sesame Street away from my kids." Oh yes, I can.
Oh yeah.
You gonna give me the recipe? Let me tell you.
I am glad that your chili turned out good. When I make it down to Alabama, we will have an official cook-off. Yeah,
I don't know when that's going to happen.
I don't know when that's going to happen, but yeah.
The older sister is here this weekend, and she's already tried to demand and command and direct me to do specific things. Girl, I'm in get yourself together.
You better do what my sister wants.
See, that's why y'all people think that all day. I guess I should turn my phone off, or at least on silent.
Listen. Okay, look, Ashton has us to a time limit, and we are already over. So, just to let you know, he's gonna be pinging us soon, talking about y'all need to move on.
Oh yeah, check in. So we're again, what I love about our team is people. We are accountable for what our roles is, and Ashton is our production manager, and he is attempting to manage 2 type A personalities.
Right? God bless him. God bless him.
It is good. Hey, Barbara Robinson, it is so good to laugh out loud. Thank you for joining us. Nick, thank you for joining us. Chrissy, thank you for joining us. Rolanda, I can't wait to get you. One day we got to get you on and just have you cut up with us. Edwin, it's so good to see you. So good, bro. And Darnell, thank you. It's been awesome for the support that everyone has been giving us. So what's going on? What's so good? Some of the current. So Serena Williams did lose to Naomi Osaka on yesterday. What's the day? Friday, Wednesday. So I was very sad, but I'm also very excited for Naomi, who, as many people know, hasn't really got the recognition in terms of her power, her skill set. Because the last time when she was at a big major event, there was just a bunch of drama going on with her and Serena in terms of people booing. And so I'm really glad and excited that she's on the first major of the year, and she is tearing up the road. Shout out to Serena Williams, who is absolutely my favorite tennis player, and she looked very good. She moved very well. What is going on with people? Just like, what is going on?
People calling him on Facebook.
I'm trying to get
his internet going out.
What's that? So shout outs to my crew out in the Australian Open. And, they just allowed people to come back to the stands Wednesday.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah, Wednesday.
Right. Get them together, Ashton.
Oh, Lord.
Yes, we needed these lives too, Chrissy. So hang out with us tonight. Hey, Nick, so good to see you. So let's talk about these winter storms.
So where do you want to start? We got a big snowstorm down here.
Okay.
Did you know that?
How'd it do? You're frozen. There we go. There we go. You're back.
That's that Verizon internet, Slim. I just paused. I got a good connection today. I got all green lights.
I see. I hear you. Go on. What about your snowstorm in Alabama?
So we had a snowstorm. We had an ice storm, right? Which really wasn't an ice storm, but everybody was like, "Oh, the black ice, the black ice, the black ice." Black ice, what they consider to be unknown ice on the ground that they can't see. I don't know why they call it black. Maybe because the street is black. And so it's ice on top of the black road, I guess. I'm naming that.
That's what I've always assumed.
Okay. So I guess that's what it is. So they closed the base, right? On yesterday, we had this like 3 inches of snow. Guess what?
What?
They didn't close the base. Yeah. They have no salt trucks, and they have no shovel trucks in the city. So how was the people going to get this? I'm just trying, man. I just thought that was kind of. So that's kind of where we are. So what's going on? It's because everybody got blasted, right?
Listen, So we'll get to Texas in a minute. We'll talk about the DMV. So we got ice and some snow the day before yesterday. Everything kind of shut down. FedEx actually took their trucks off the road.
What?
And so,
was it what they said it was going to be?
I presume so. I didn't go outside, but
maybe you're not the right person. Anybody out there that's watching, let me know what it.
I think it was bad.
No, because see, here's the thing: a dust will make you scared. A flare, just a little flurry that comes down will just frighten you and have you scared. I don't know. So if you are out there watching us right at this moment, how was it? Nick, you may not. Nick, it was Nick. I'm not quite sure. It was bad. The asphalt is black. Yep. Hey, Michelle, I had to cancel my clients. Okay, so
so they took Amazon. So it said Amazon came off the road. So they didn't do delivery.
That's not the question. The question was, y'all know how.
Somebody just say yes, it was bad. Yes, it was crazy icy. There you go.
Nick Snow. I'm not quite sure I want to believe her. She's from the DMV area, right?
What are you talking about?
That says Nick Snow.
Oh, Nick Snow.
Crazy icy. Oh, okay. Yeah. Now Nick's from Jersey, so I'll take that word. She's a Northerner. Y'all Southern, people think, the DC area is really still like they really crazy about the weather. So, but
it was way too much. It was way too much.
It wasn't what they anticipated. Daycare parents said the roads were bad. Okay. But you guys are supposed to get like 10 inches of snow. Did you get 10 inches?
We didn't get that. So it was supposed to ice on Monday. We didn't get bad weather until Thursday. So I'll take it. It's only 28 more days till spring. I'm just counting down. So let's talk about what the hell is going on in Texas, yo.
Okay, where you want to start? Do you want to start with the senator, or do you want to start with the mayor of Colorado City? Which one? First of all.
Yes.
Shout outs to all the people in Texas. We do wish and pray for for hopefully everyone is okay, and we'll get to a point where they can get back into their homes, get electricity. I know that. And Johnson, you can add to this. It's a shock to Texas because Texas was never, probably have never been faced with this type of weather before, and it just wasn't in their preview to have readiness equipment and things like that. And while we up north know how to handle, know how to deal, know how to manage, the city just wasn't, that state wasn't just set up for that. So shout out to you all. We pray for you all, and we hope all is well and get well for you. And for those that have lost things, we pray that, something comes about to help take care of you and put you in a safe space.
Yeah, absolutely. Echo all of that. Just prayers and love to the folks in Texas. One of my coworkers is down there, and so we got a chance to connect. And he was a part of the rolling power outages, and so just sending good energy down there. So let's talk about the senator. Okay. And so you talked about it in the green room about, privilege or whatever. And it's all, depending on which news channel you watch. So Senator Cruz, family was impacted. He was in state when this happened, and his daughters were, his story is they could, they said, hey, school's out. Why can't we go somewhere warm? And he granted his wish, and they took them to Cancun.
They took where?
To Cancun, to Mexico. I guess, he said since the wall wasn't being built anymore, he was good to get away.
So he went to go to an environment that he was,
he went, and now he's catching crazy backlash. He was one of the folks that criticized many of the other states when their elected officials are not on, boots on the ground during a national catastrophe. So my man was like, time to storm at the bar.
Right, something was going on, and he took flight. Is that
that's exactly what it is. So he's backtracking. Apparently, some time ago, he got caught in another kind of thing, and he blamed his wife. And so now the criticism is he's throwing his two daughters under the bus. I think he has two girls. He's throwing his daughters under the bus because he needed to get them to a warmer space, while hundreds of thousands of folks they don't have that luxury, right? There's still, yesterday when I saw the recap, that were still 11,000 people or something like that without power in lower income areas. But he had the means, right? He had the means to fly his family first class to stay in a Ritz-Carlton in Mexico. So yes. What about that? What about the now former mayor of
So I don't know, and again, I apologize to our production manager. I don't know if he actually has this set up or not, but I don't know if you want to show the letter. But very disrespectful letter in terms of telling people that they need to get it together, and the electricity is going out. That's on them, and who it starts off by saying, let me hurt some feelings while I have a moment. No one owes you or your family. Now this is the mayor talking, the former mayor.
He was like,
yeah, let me tell you how I really feel. One of the comments that he makes is, sink or swim, it's your choice. The city and county, along with power providers or any other services, owes you nothing. Nothing.
Yeah.
Mind you, I don't have no electricity, and then the mayor is telling me, well, the power providers owes you nothing. So stop complaining.
No water. Like these people are truly, and it's -1 degree, 5 degrees. Like, it is cold. Yeah.
Yeah, totally disrespectful, and totally just kind of out of the box, no empathy whatsoever. And again, as we are in this week of talking about political Black power, these are people this is how people get put in place, right? Because
that's right.
You don't vote, or B, you're voting for people that really don't have your best interests. So
that's right. So I think it's so speaking of, so that's what's going on in Texas, and then Cuomo in New York is under all of this controversy for lowballing his numbers of COVID deaths in nursing homes, right? So California's governor is under attack as well. So there's a lot of stuff going on that we truly need to pay attention, and not just as we get to these elections, not just read the highlights that not even read the highlights, but only read their name on the ballot.
Right.
Like, do your investigation, do your work to know who you're voting for or who you're not voting for that possibly could get into office. So yeah. It's all just kind of crazy.
I mean, it's again, one thing on top of another. Pandemic, weather. You got
Yep,
your politicians acting out, being able to
yep,
show their true privilege. And I'm not trying to stay in Texas right now because my daughter is cold. But the truth is, I'm going to go. We're going to fly out. I mean, it's just crazy. So
yeah,
it's just again,
yeah. So
what's going on?
COVID-19 still rampant, still the variants are still out there. Continue to be safe, folks. Continue to social distance, continue to wear your mask. If you do open your space up to folks, please make sure that you all are still being safe.
So,
Um,
so, so I think that's a great. Let's add on that the CDC has now introduced, and you may have mentioned this before, Johnson. I don't remember whether you mentioned it was a CDC decision, but you might have. I just want to reiterate it that they're now saying double mask. Like I know you talked about that last week, but I don't remember if we said that was actually something that came from the
Oh
CDC.
yeah, it is. So they're now saying with the variants they've done some other stuff that they're saying double mask. And your mom actually made some comments alongside of those comments that I made. It's you got to find the mask that works for you, right? So
Yeah,
maybe an N95 and another mask is difficult to breathe. Try a surgical mask and and another mask over top of it. Try a coffee filter in the pockets with another lighter mask, and perhaps that will help. Like something that you feel comfortable with is washing your hands, social distancing, wearing a mask, just continuing to be safe.
right. And the other thing I would like to name is that bandanas or masks with those type of
Filters.
what is it
Yeah,
called, filters,
yeah,
are unacceptable in some of,
yeah,
specifically in government facilities. I don't know all other
yeah,
facilities, but they are no longer acceptable in terms of covering up. So,
yeah.
and
And
yeah, like
and I've seen people like it's interesting that even stores are like you know how people would just kind of put their shirt over top of their face. They're like, that's not a mask. Like, no, it's not. So yeah. So what's going on in the movement?
So we already mentioned this before last week, but we want to just kind of mention it again. Unity Fellowship Church Charleston Pastor Reverend Robert Arrington is celebrating his 11th pastoral anniversary on this upcoming Sunday at 12 p.m. On Facebook. So I'm going to try to chime in directly after our service. And just kind of like just show him some love. And it's also his 60th birthday, 61st birthday. So we want to just kind of like, if you are a part of the movement or visiting, or you just kind of want to check in, check out their Facebook page, just chime in. Let's get connected with them and show them some love.
Yeah, absolutely. Unity Fellowship Church Movement mid-year. If you're a part of our movement, you know that mid-year has we've stopped doing it for a couple of years, but in 2021 we will do it. It will be virtual. It is April 30th through May 3rd. I think I got those dates right.
Yes.
Um, and so more information to come, but get that on your calendar. Know that it is on the horizon. If you watched our show a couple weeks ago when Elder Taylor was here, he dropped a whole lot of good nuggets that we should be looking forward to. So make sure that you're keeping up with what's going on in the movement regarding mid-year.
This is really good. Unity Fellowship Church of Baltimore men's ministry is hosting our movie night on February 27th. It'll be at 6 p.m. And the movie that we will be streaming is American Skin. Amazing movie. It was on my top 5 list. And it probably should still be on there. But opportunity, check it out. We will have advertisement and a link. Not a link, I'm sorry. Oh yeah, there'll probably be a link. Yeah, on our Facebook page, and so for those who want to join, we can make sure we have that ready for you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you, Minister Dynell. That's the next thing on the list. So
Yeah,
Unity Fellowship Church DC is hosting a movie night tomorrow, 6 p.m.
tomorrow.
We assume via Zoom, and so you can clarify that in the chat right now, Minister. But they will be watching Do You Believe? So visit their website, ufcdc.org, for more information.
Yeah. Okay. One of my favorite segments. I didn't mean to rush that ending. I'm my
That's
bad.
right. That's
But
right.
one of my favorite segments of Refuel is to see what Johnson has come up with, the meme of the week. So
Yeah.
I'm curious to know. Last week, I'm telling y'all, she had me dying out here. It was so funny with the Jermaine Jackson and the Gorilla Glue. So I'm not quite sure if she can top that, but then again, who knows? Hey, by
All
the way,
right.
why don't you go ahead and share this right now? Go ahead and subscribe right now to our Facebook page, also our YouTube page. Go ahead and share this because we're just trying to make sure, again, we're in a pandemic. We haven't seen each other. We want to stay connected, right? So,
That's right.
Johnson, what you got for us this week?
All right. There we go.
See, I already started laughing. Today's forecast. Holy moly, I can't feel my face. Degree.
Listen, it's cold outside. All
Oh,
right. What's next, Ashton?
people don't even say bless you anymore. They just look at you like this. Okay, I'm not quite sure if I get that one though. Is
So
that?
now that it's COVID, like when people are sneezing or coughing, like they
Oh,
like you got COVID.
yes.
Like
So
okay,
actually, this is me in my office. Like if I hear someone coughing, or if I hear, I'm giving this. This is exactly what I'm giving. So yeah, that is hilarious. That's me. What you got, Ash? Coronavirus waiting to see if I'm going to a bar instead of a store.
Yolanda, this one I think I got this one from your Instagram story. This is how I feel. This I
You,
be judging Rolanda like this. So
I
yeah.
can't with you. I cannot
What's next,
with
Ashton?
you, Johnson. You take a free sample and pretend to care about the
This is me. Before COVID, I would specifically go to Sam's or Costco on a Saturday morning where they had all the samples out, and then I would stand and make them think that I'm gonna buy it.
That is so true.
What's the next one, Ashton?
That is so true. I can't. Listen, this is what she does all week, y'all. I want y'all to know that she sends people these type of things, and it's hilarious. It's hilarious.
This one.
That is so cute,
This
though.
one.
That's so cute.
Whew, like this one by far was the funniest. I think that was it. Ashton told me that. Oh no, I got
I
another one.
wouldn't say I would die without my morning coffee. I'm just saying other people. So, listen. I enjoyed this segment.
Okay.
It keeps me
Okay,
laughing.
thank you for indulging me. Listen, so I don't know about y'all, but those memes are hilarious. Ashton did tell me that I only get 5. I snuck that last one in about the forecast because normally I send them to him and I get his buy-in. I sent him about 10, and he was like, I said, okay, you got to pick the 5, and then we snuck that last one in because of the stove store. So
Hilarious.
another segment that we launched a couple of weeks ago. So I have my memes, and Robinson, because he doesn't have 2 toddlers in his house taking over the TV, can watch movies when he has free time. And so he started his segment, What's Good to Watch? So what's good to watch, Robinson?
So what's good to watch is there. Ashton was, mentioned in the green room. He was like, "Yo, you can't be putting the same items on the list." I'm like, "Yes, you can because it is one of my top 5." So it doesn't matter, whether you've seen it the week before. It's the top 5, right? These are kind of really good movies that I will offer that you watch. And so let's start off with number 5, which is 911 Lone Star.
So they're movies and they're TV series.
Exactly, movies and TV series. So it's whatever you can watch. Like if whether it's a documentary, it could be whatever, right? And so you gotta check out 911 Lone Star. This week was amazing. I mean, there's tons of stuff I can say, but Lone Star, check it out, and also watch it previously because the show is actually
season 2, right?
This is season 2, right?
Okay.
And so they have a dynamic that's going on that, and you should check it out. It's very diverse. It's inclusive. I just love this show. So check it out. Number 4 is Firefly Lane. Definitely got to watch that. If you haven't watched it, check it out. And then Buried by the Bernards. So listen, it is about a real funeral home owned by Black our people. And when I tell you, it is hilarious. So check it out. and let me know what you think. Send us an email or hit us up on the chat and let us know. The other one I want to mention, and many of you, depending on how old you are, Sex and the City has just launched their remaster of the entire all of their seasons. So definitely go watch that. I think that I, fell in love with Sex and the City. It gave us opportunity to kind of see what's going on in New York and at that time, what white females were doing at that time. So check it out. And then number one, and again, I mentioned this last week, is Judah and the Messiah. If you haven't seen it, I would invite you to check it out. It is definitely gives you a different insight in terms of what the Black Panther movement, what the Black Power movement was about, how that came about, how the FBI was investigating, just some of the shenanigans that was going on, some of the hatred. Definitely check that out. So those are my top 5. I would invite you to check that out. You can spend all weekend checking it out. And next Friday, I'll have some other ones for you. Oh,
that is wonderful. Yes.
I just want everybody to know that I'm still watching Game of Thrones for the 5th time. I'm on season 6 right now. Let me tell you, I'm learning stuff. I'm still like, oh my goodness, I didn't know that. So definitely check that out.
So a lot of comments. So Nick, yes, I've watched the original 911 with Angela Bassett. I have not gotten into Lone Star, but it is something that I plan on watching. Yeah, and so Rolanda, nobody watches The Office but you, homie. Like,
yeah, I'm so sorry. Like, yeah, unfortunately, The Office is not my cup of tea.
Yeah,
it's not my cup of tea.
Yeah,
yeah. So
not enough.
Yes, I got a Game of Thrones fan. Hey, listen, Nick, go watch it. I don't know how many times you watched it all the way through, but continue to watch it. Like you will learn and discover some stuff. Are we on time?
So great. We are all
time.
things considered on time. Look at that. So tonight's show, please, folks. You say what?
Rolanda just hit us up and said lies.
So tonight's show is thank you for engaging us. We love the what the meme. We love to check in about what's going on in our society and what's good to watch. And this is a part that we also love. So our Black History Committee, led by Ifa Dio, my lovely wife, Joy Francis Johnson, has charged us with these next 2 weeks to emphasize on Black Power, and our theme is Black Power, becoming our ancestors' wildest dreams. And tonight we have a video segment. The video was over an hour long. And it's a conversation with a revolutionary who just so happens to be Joy's mom, Mother Francis. And so it's a powerful story. Ashton got us down from the hour to I think 20 minutes. So we're going to show you a clip and about with the conversation. We will feature the full conversation next week. We'll do a live where we feature that full conversation, and then we'll come back and we'll discuss it. Sean, anything to add?
No, I think I'm excited. I watched a little bit of it. It is dope. So I hope you all enjoy it. And we're gonna make sure we stream the entire full segment, right?
Yeah, the full segment. We still have some editing to do. We're gonna do that next week. The editing, we couldn't do it for tomorrow, but next week we'll go live from all of our normal locations, playing the video of the full conversation. Okay. Yes, Rolanda, this is your boo. She is on camera. My mother-in-law does not really do Facebook, but she did accept.
She stepped out for this one.
He stepped out for this one. So check us out. Stay tuned. Stay connected to us as we watch this video, and then we'll be right back.
Yep.
Okay, so everyone, this is my mom. This is Miss Brenza, who was a member of the Black Panther Party in Newark, New Jersey. And so I want to start by setting the scene for everyone. So I think when we think of these members of the Black Panther Party, we think of like Fred Hampton, whose movie just came out, right? We think of Huey, we think of Bobby, we think of Bobby Rush, we think of all of these people, Eldridge, who were like, I guess older, kind of like folklorish people. But then we have people that weren't in the news like you. So mommy, set the scene for me. Like, what was happening in Newark, New Jersey around this time?
Well, SNCC had opened, and it had been Bobby H. Rat Brown and John Lewis had started SNCC. And so, during the 1963 March on Washington, John Lewis actually was speaking as the one of the co-founders of SNCC. So that was the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee. And of course, you have my membership card. And so the riots, so this was in the 60s. And so in 67, you had the Newark riots. Of course, the police beat a man, cab driver. And so you had the 67 riots. And so after the riots, the city was totally devastated. Everything that, where Black people went to shop was now burnt out, torn down, desolate. All of the business owners, the white people, of course, they went up into the hills. And so you still have students and people, citizens who live in Newark and who are trying to make the very best of it. So SNCC was up the street on Springfield Avenue. Leroy Jones, Amiri Baraka, before he was Amiri Baraka, was Leroy Jones, and he was married to a young Jewish lady by the name of Kathy. And they hung out in Greenwich Village and did the poet scene, the poetry scene, Harlem, Uptown, Cotton Club, all of that. But Amiri Baraka was very proud of his heritage. He was proud of Newark. And so the children in Newark had nowhere to go because, of course, after the riots, all of the recreation centers and everything was shut down. And Leroy Jones and his wife at that time, Kathy, they opened up a center on Branford Place between Branford Place and West Market. And in this center, so the way that it's set up is you have Springfield Avenue, which turns into Branford Place.
Okay.
And so you have Branford Place and West Market. So you're down by Essex County College.
Mm-hmm.
You know where St. Benedict's is.
Yeah.
So when you come out of High Street from St. Benedict's, where their soccer field is, there now sits a Bank of America.
Okay.
And where that Bank of America sits, it used to be just a youth center that Kathy and Leroy Jones put together. They came to Newark and they lived in Newark and they put this center together. And what it did was it gave the Black youth of Newark, it gave them a place to come after school for help with their homework, to learn self-defense for the young ladies. It taught African dance and drumming and music. And of course, right up the street was SNCC. And so with the SNCC program, they were getting students together, college students again, because at this time, I'm in 8th grade, but I love African dance and I love poetry and I need help with homework. So I would leave school after school and I would make my way over to the center. And and sometimes it was so much fun because my mom was taking classes at Essex County College. So I would get a ride with her. She would go to Essex County and she would drop me off, at the headquarters. And we would learn about our history. We would learn that we were so much more than what we thought we were. And that's why you had these college students, these giants in our eyes, who were providing, who were coming together, and who were really creating a safe space
So,
for students.
so at this time so the Panthers were around by now.
They were, well, see, by now, they're up the street at SNCC.
Oh, okay,
with
okay. So,
They're up the street with H. Rap Brown, you
okay,
see.
okay.
So this is their organization here. So of course, you have the trickle down. So you have Amiri Baraka and Kathy, who are also working with SNCC and the Black Panthers to create a safe space for the kids of Newark. And you had, Newark was always a college town. I mean, Essex County was a very small college. Rutgers was small. It wasn't as big as it is today, but NJIT was still there. They were small, but they were still there. So you had these young men who were in college, who were trying to formulate a way for their people, for us to be better, to do better. Of course, even today you hear young people saying, I don't want you to give me anything. I just want you to open up the door. As you can see with everything that Black people participate in, we have an innate gift we don't have to say we're superior, because our superiority shows, because no matter what we do, basketball, football, music, the arts, we excel. And so this is what they were teaching us. You have to be a Panther in your heart. It has to be a part of your spirit. People run around and they talk about the Black Panthers and how they wanted to kill and how they wanted to destroy. And that was never, ever the truth about who the Panthers were.
So wait a minute, mommy. I have to wrap my mind around this, because you said because you said H-Rap Brown was up the street, and that's another really big name, right? That you hear in alignment with those major players. So just to know, like, all of this is happening and you were just there is kind of mind-blowing to me. But okay. So we have these centers. Amiri Baraka is setting this up. And so for those of you that don't know Amiri Baraka, his son is now the mayor of Newark, Ras Baraka. But so, okay. So you were kind of dabbling, you were in SNCC, and then you started to be exposed to Black Panther Party, right? So
I'm in high school, I go to high school.
Oh, that's right, because you're in the 8th grade. So you're like getting into 9th grade. So like, what was it? So was it the teaching, what you were learning about African-American history, Black history in this country, that drew you to the party? Or was it, like, what was it? Were they recruiting? Like, how did that happen?
No, it was never a recruitment. It was always service. So you know how I was with you about Christmas. Okay, you can't just get everything. You have to give something. So there are a lot of homeless people. Let's get socks, let's wrap them up, and then let's go downtown and distribute. Same exact concept. That was the Panther concept. That was, it's amazing to me to know that as a teenager, I'm surrounded by people who are actually going to be, who are history makers,
Yeah.
you know? And so you never think of it in those terms in the moment.
Mhm.
In the moment, because in the moment you're trying to do the community service. You're trying to be there to serve when kids come for afternoon snack. If you can help a Black student who's having a problem reading, so you be there and you help them do that. Now, the guys, the older guys, college students who and the Amiri Barakas, because you know when I would come home and I would be talking about Amiri Baraka and what I learned in self-defense and this and that, Nina, my mother, would always say, "You hanging around with that Leroy Jones?" His name is Amiri Baraka. You know, I had my huge fro, and you know, and so, and they're like, yeah, Leroy Jones. But when he was growing up with Nina, he was always a rabble rouser because he didn't want to accept what was just tossed down, because again within himself he knew that we were better than that. So even during his time as a young man, he was thinking of ways where he could help. And so it was so important to understand that yes, you are surrounded by these older people, these older students. And that's another misconception. The Panthers were not ignorant. They weren't street thugs. They were educated. And that's why they knew that if you're going to walk the streets with a gun, it has to be a shotgun. It has to be a rifle. It cannot be a concealed weapon because you have a right to arm and carry. And that's what they were doing. The Panthers patrolled neighborhoods, neighborhoods. So they kept bad things from happening to good people in places where the cops wouldn't come.
So let me,
They,
so wait a minute. So that's one thing that I do want to ask you about, because so we have breakfast program for children.
yeah,
We have
yes,
after school snacks, after school
tutoring and childcare, because again, just as a lot of mothers are single mothers today, also in that day and time.
So what about,
You
so
know,
this is something I've never asked you about this, but coming off of the Fred Hampton movie, I just want to know, like, mommy, was that drill, like drill was a real thing? Formation, drill, learning how to formulate the stances and the movements, like you were in the Army, all of that was real?
absolutely, very much so.
Wow.
Very much so, because discipline. Discipline is very important when you're running an organization such as the Panthers. It wasn't just in Newark. It was in Chicago. It was in Dallas. It was in Fort Worth. It was in California. So Panthers were nationwide, and it had to be standardized. And that's what it was. And so, yes, you see how January the 6th, militias showed up at the Capitol? Well, you remember Malcolm X, when those people went to the hospital and they stood out there? Fruit of Islam. All of this is discipline. And anytime you're going to have an organization such as the Panthers, you need discipline. You need to have the drills. You need to have the formation. You need to have the bylaws and the laws. Because again, America is not a lawless nation. So you need to know what the laws are in order to work within them. And that is what made the Panthers so dangerous. They knew the laws. Look at Angela Davis. What she teach? Law.
Mhm.
She was in law school when she was on trial for murder.
Mhm.
She was in law school. So Bobby Rush, Chicago, he was in law school. Eldridge, law school. They knew the law, and that is what made them dangerous. Because you had young Black militant men who were sick and tired of dying, who had seen so many deaths of young men.
Mhm.
And so they're going to take the law and use it for the benefit of the Black people in their neighborhoods.
Okay. So you're doing formation, you're learning, you're teaching, right? You're teaching, you're learning. You're doing formation, there's a level of discipline, there's a level of camaraderie, which is very clear. I would take it the camaraderie was clear across the nation, right?
Absolutely.
So what was your, so you're walking around, or people, I'm not going to say you, I couldn't imagine Nina even allowing this, but you're walking around, people are walking around, and they're walking around, like you said, with shotguns because they're arming themselves to protect the neighborhoods that the cops won't go to in Newark. Was there a level of instruction on gun safety and how to take apart, how to clean, how to put it back together? Was that also instituted?
Absolutely. If you were going to be one of the armed, then you need to know how to use your weapon, how to clean your weapon. Yes, that one without question. But it's so amazing because your grandfather was all about shotguns.
Yeah, I know.
Because
Mhm.
I mean, we had shotguns in the house.
Yeah.
So we knew Michael was a little, standoffish about the guns, but I was in Pop Pop's face all the time because I wanted to know, and I had gone hunting with him.
Mhm.
So it was just something normal. Like we didn't have uh, burglar alarms at that time. We didn't have them. What we had was
Wow. Right?
Listen, listen. What I can say is, and I think Rolando put this in the chat, like this is them all the time.
All day. Like,
Like I told Sean and Ashton via chat today, like to go to her home, to go to New Jersey, to go to her home, to come when she's down here and our friends and family get to come over. It is that type of power, that type of knowledge all the time. So thank you.
like literally, like from in her house,
Yes,
New Jersey, down
yes.
here in Maryland, it's all the time.
So
So
in Jersey, like her living room, I call it like a museum. Like it has those replicas all in. Yeah. So it's amazing. Thank you so much, Joy. Thank you so much, Mother Francis. Like they recorded that last night. We had to wait till the boys went to sleep. Well, not went to sleep, but started to wind down. So it was 11 o'clock Eastern time where they were up recording this. So thank you. And they talked for like 3 hours. So
and that's
yeah.
short for her. Like, and I'm a witness. Like I've been in the company. I mean, many times, and it is before you realize it's 2 hours have gone by
It's
because you're
2 hours have gone
you're
by.
so into it. You're so like you're so into it, and so
But listen, she will be cooking a full course meal. The beverages your cup will stay full,
that
and
is
she and she will just be dropping all kinds of stuff.
yeah. You
So
know,
she talked about you have to be a Black Panther in your heart, right? Like wow, like
And his
I
spirit, like she
yeah,
mentioned spirit too.
yeah, yeah. So you have to know the laws. And I think in the longer one, they may go a little deeper in that. But these folks who were part of the original Black Panthers were educated, right? So they knew the laws. Now, granted, I could don't put a gun or nothing in front of me talking about cleaning it. That's just not my ministry. I'm be over in the corner praying, right? So, the Black Panther is Joy in the house. I'm the prayer. I'm gonna pray us through while she's standing guard.
Well, I think that was the beauty of the diversity of the group. Like you had certain people that did certain things, and what I
Yeah,
appreciate is the discipline,
yeah,
and that culture falls into a lot of what we already do. The military does it, motorcycle clubs do it. There's a lot of entities that follow that same exact kind of framework in terms of discipline. But what I
yeah,
loved is the reference to history makers and wasn't accepting. And I appreciate the here's the truth to what they really was. The Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, and how that SNCC was what she referred to, and how that worked in tangent with the Black Panther, and how the Black Panther, it was all about service. Like I appreciate hearing that, in terms of being mindful that what you have learned and seen is not really what it was. Because
yeah,
obviously, if you don't know or have not spoken or have not read, if you are influenced, oh Jesus, that was a good word. If you are, if you are influenced by what you only have heard, in terms of not of people who don't know, right?
yeah, yeah,
This right here is real stuff. Like this is
yeah,
someone that was on the ground that said
yeah,
they were about service,
yeah.
making sure that our people had a safe space. I listen. Her and I, you know how we rock. We can just
Yeah. Like discipline is important when you're running an org. Like so that stuff is
absolutely.
long standing. It's you talked about motorcycle, like anything that you're in, discipline is required, surrounded by history makers. Like, you never know. Like even now, like where we are in our roles in life, wherever you are in life, like that person sitting next to you, that person that you're supporting, that person that you are giving service to, maybe the next president, maybe the next vice president, maybe the next senator, right? And so if it's servicing your heart, then just ensure that that's what you're putting out there. Nick talked about her clients and her whole mindfulness. She has a mindfulness moment that's absolutely amazing, right? Pouring into other people because you never know what people need in that moment. And just surrounding yourself, making sure, I guess what I'm trying to say is just making sure that it's in you, and then
Yeah.
it just shouldn't be so hard. Like for me, and listening to Joy and her mom, and bearing witness at such a close level, I just know that it was never hard. Like you can't there's not a lot of fear that can creep in when it's just naturally coming out of you.
Yeah, I agree with you, and I think that's the piece of regaining. That's the piece of getting
Yeah,
to. And I appreciate Michelle Littlejohn, who just made reference to, it is our individual responsibility to seek the truth. And so,
yeah,
not only seek the truth out there, but seek the truth in here too.
yeah,
I,
yeah,
I think that, in terms of you mentioning about the laws, what she also added to that was working in the constraint of the law. So in order for
yeah,
you to kind
yeah.
of take, or capitalize on what's going on in the law, you got to know the law. And that's very important. So that's powerful when you have a group of Black men and women who know the law. Like it. So we can
So
go.
I think that the
We can talk
picture,
about this all day. Like this is
right,
dope.
knowing the law, right? So what we saw on January 6th
Hello, somebody.
versus what we saw right? You feel it. I'm sure you can think of stuff, recent protests and recent displays of I'm trying to think of a politically correct word, but
Well, you
you
don't
get
have
it,
to be
right?
politically correct in there.
Yeah. So you know the laws, like so it's very different. The Million Man March, Black Panthers movement versus what we saw on January 6th, right?
Very different. Very different.
Very different depictions of unrest.
That's fair.
Yeah, so that's me. That's me. Very, very much towing the line, right?
But the other piece of we can go so many ways with
so, I'll let you decide if you're gonna say that, right? But
No, I think that, again, as we talk about Black Power, as we talk about our ancestors' dreams, our ancestors risk it all.
yes,
And what I would name is, what are we willing to risk?
that's
How
it.
far will we go, right? And I
That's it.
feel
That's
like,
it.
ooh, that's a good topic. Jesus,
Yes.
come on. And
Listen,
so,
Sean getting his sermon right here, right now, right here, right now on Refuel. Like, so listen, if you hear these nuggets on Sunday morning, just go on and tell them it's confirmation, right?
well, I think that that's the beauty of what our history is about. Is as
Yeah.
we look back, is like they were willing. Even now, like the movement that we currently have, Black Lives Matter, is willing to risk. It's really to risk, getting out there, because we're not willing to accept. That is what the Black Panthers and the SNCC was doing. It's the same exact thing. I think that we are we're using the same structure that was in the past. It's just that it's a different time.
Yeah.
And so like, what are you, Pastor? Like,
how
how
far are you
would you
willing
go?
to go?
I'm gonna write a statement on that.
Yeah, how far are you willing to go? What are you willing to risk? And these are the questions we want you to carry away from this conversation with the revolutionary, right? So ask yourself the questions, right? Is it in your heart? What are you willing to risk? How far are you willing to go? What, do you know the laws? Right? Right? Are you surrounded by history makers? Right? So Sunday
And
I talked.
are you willing? Go ahead. Sorry.
No, go on.
No.
So Sunday I talked about, deal breakers and deal makers, right? So are you who and Bishop Thomas, I love this message from him, is who's on your front row, right? So who are the people that are in your ear and encouraging you? So yeah, go on and say it, Robinson, because
I can't because I was in my minute of writing the sermon, because I'm trying to do something different by being ready, waiting for the time. And so this is the thing about being a preacher and having to preach, and then you're in a platform where you're talking about stuff that is part of the theme. So Pastor, for freedom, for justice, and for liberation.
For liberation, right. Like
I remember my mother talking about Angela Davis and how she was so captured by it, and how she was always at the rallies in Philadelphia. And I just appreciate this story. I want everyone to take some time out and check out the full length video of that interview with or a conversation with Joy and her mother. Definitely. You will be blessed by it. I think it will give you a new look on things in terms of what we thought and knew of the Black Panther and what it really was. We appreciate her transparency and her willing to risk it all. Like, I love
that. Absolutely. And Joy said, she was like, so I was like, yeah, we'll grab something for the show tonight, and then we'll stream the full conversation. And she was like, well, you may want to listen to it before you make the decision. And I'm like, no, I feel that it's time for us to have those conversations. It's time for us. She talks about her anger and sadness, and so it's time for us to have those conversations and deal with those emotions and get them out. So I'm excited that we get to stream that full conversation. I see there was a question.
Yeah, the question is, what do we do when the law is on our side, but those responsible lack integrity? I don't know what your response is going to be.
Yeah, we gotta vote.
We gotta make sure the same thing. Like,
we gotta make sure that we gotta vote, and there has to be more people that that represent the integrity that we want, right? So so that would be my response.
And I'll add to that. So yes, we do need to vote, but we also have to socialize with people who aren't voting to influence them, to help them, to show them, to get them to see the attempt, right? I would say the attempt. I wouldn't say we.
Yeah,
There's an
absolutely.
attempt,
Right?
because
And
I
make
think
sure that people who have your goals, or that has integrity, feel empowered and supported by the people who are voting. They are willing to sit, to your comment, Robinson, they're willing to sit it down and teach the people who are not the value add to exercising that right.
Which was done, and we have seen a great example of that this year in Atlanta.
And her mom, in the video, her mom talks about that. And so, great.
Great. Well, listen, we are at time. We love you all. We thank you for joining us. We're trying to stay true to the time here. We can go on for another half hour, but I'm sure Ashton has already pinged us and told us to wrap it up. So shout outs to him for don't.
Yes, shout out to Ashton, man. Yeah, he keeps his line. We have timelines. We have gone over everything that we were supposed to do. And shout out to Rob and Ashton. The reason that we're trying to stay to time is because I have two little guys that we want to get to sleep so we can get to sleep. But we can sit and literally talk for hours and go on and take as many questions as the folks that's going to stay on with us. So thank you again, Mother Francis. Thank you again, Joy, for your vision for being our ancestors' wildest dreams. It is our pleasure to make your vision come to fruition.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, thanks so much. Remember, hashtag the Reverends are in. Come on and subscribe to us. Check us out every Friday. We're here at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Johnson, I love doing this with you. Ashton, we constantly make Ashton's name. We constantly saying it because he's part of the team, but he's in the background. So we're always joking with him. So if you always hear us talk about him, never see him, that's why. So we love all of you who take your time out. We know you could be doing other things, but we love you. So hashtag the Reverends are in. We'll see you next week.
We'll see you next week.
Love you, baby.
So thank you all very much for joining us tonight.
Johnson. Kiss the baby squad.
So yes, it's our show.
I love you too, and we're gonna get to do this again next week.
Have a good night, everybody.
Hey, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Shout it up. Subscribe to our Facebook. Get on. Subscribe. Here it is.
Right there.
Go to UFC Baltimore.
Catch the fist.